This is a continuation from video 1, from video 2. So this is video 3. I was just saying that in 2017, our neighbor with whom we had spent 9 good years, no problems at all, good neighborhood, respect of each other, helping each other, collecting mail for each other, and safekeeping it to give a good neighborhood. From no provocation at all, she began to pelt us, our front door, with rotten eggs. I just thought of 2017. I was just kept quiet, because sometimes we come from Africa, we're told that silence solves problems. Somebody is in a mental state, you don't know what mental state they are in, and they do something to you. Not always should you respond. Sometimes you must just keep quiet and things will die down. And we kept quiet and things seemed to die down up until 2018 in May, when the same neighbor did what I will tell you. In 2018, this neighbor's children and the children who had just been settled by the city council in the same street began to pelt me with objects from their house, which is second from our house. I was working in the garden on my project, and they started pelting me with objects. The mother was inside the house, and they asked the children, "Where is your mother?" They said, "Our mother is not here." And I told the children, "Can you stop what you are doing?" The mother came out jumping. "What are you doing? Are you shouting at my children?" Violence began. It involved the police. Not only in that month in May, it went on from May to September 2018. It was very bad, considering that we had spent so many years in peace with no problems at all. Police were called more than 10 times as the campaign accelerated. The Swansea City Council installed CCTV camera, of which the installer refused to focus the camera where the problem was coming from. This camera was installed to face my garden instead of facing the neighbor where the objects were coming from. And the console of the camera was put in my children's bedroom, meaning that they could easily have been recording us instead of recording the neighbor, who happens to be white, and the camera installers, who happen to be white, and we are the blacks, we are the victims. We were being recorded ourselves by a camera which was being installed with an intention to protect us from the neighbor. This lady, on seeing the newly installed camera, came out of her garden and stood and shouted, "I can't believe these people anymore. Are they now putting a camera to monitor me? I can't believe them anymore." I stood with my partner with awe. We didn't believe that the lady was saying that, because it was evidence that she's working with the council, and now she was fighting that the same council is putting a camera to focus her. Little did she know that the camera was focusing on our garden. And the acceleration of the problem happened. They pelted us even more because they know they're working with the council. Pelted us even more. When we called the council to look at the camera, the council told us the camera didn't capture anything. It is obvious the camera was looking at my project in the garden and recording in my room, not looking at that. And the lady had already said, I can't believe these people anymore. Are they putting a camera to monitor me? Which means everything was being done for cosmetic, for us to think that we were being protected by the council. And the council was having private meetings with this lady, which is the reason why this thing continued from May 2018, June, July, August, until we moved out in September. I was kicked by a 12-year-old child from this neighbor at the school grounds in the full view of all the hundreds of parents who were coming to collect their children, as I was also coming to collect my 2 children. She kicked me. Only one lady, who is also a neighbor, asked, what are you doing? She didn't know the campaign. She asked, what are you doing? Then I held myself, because it is clear that I was being provoked to smash the face of this child, of this 12-year-old child, with a very angry fist in the full view of all the parents. That's what had been planned. In the view, if parents see a 50-year-old man smashing a 12-year-old white vulnerable child, what would really happen? See, so it was another way to cause me to smash this girl and go to prison for a very long time. See, so I had noticed their intentions, and I was aware who was causing this and why, because I could join together the question of why, when are you leaving Swansea? See, so they wanted transport to help me move out of Swansea quickly through jail. That's exactly what they wanted. We then moved to another house after my car had been scratched with a sharp object. My new car, 9,000 worth of a car, scratched with a very sharp object from the front light all the way to the driver's door, to the passenger's door, to the tail. It still is that today. I can't fix it. I don't have money to fix it. And we then moved to our new house, expecting to be in peace, expecting to enjoy life the way we had enjoyed it in the past 9 years in the old house. New place, no problem, new people, new neighbors. Once we were beginning to settle, the housing manager from the City Council of Swansea came to see how we had settled. She complained about an extension cable I had connected my broadband data distribution device, and she phoned the council electrician to come and disconnect our television electrical plug, as the extension cable I had put was dangerous. If you have an extension cable in your house, if you have an extension cable in your house, That's exactly what it was. That's what I had put, an extension cable to connect the this broadband device on the extension. She said, no, that's illegal. Who exactly has ever had? How many extension cables does the world have? The entirety of the world. And what was the problem with my own extension cable? So I decided to follow. When the electrician removed the switch off electricity, because remember I had autistic children in the house who wanted television desperately. That's the first thing when you collect them from school, they want to television switched on, and there Mr. Tumbles put. She came to switch off those Mr. Tumbles and things like that. Nothing. Silent house. Then I went to the council and complained. I showed them their own extension in the office where they put me. I asked them, so if the extension cable which is in my house is a dangerous electrical gadget, why do you have this extension? I was showing them in the office, because even now when we go to their office now, they have that extension cables. Because we don't connect these things on the plug on the wall all the time. We always use extension cables. It divides. It's a divider, electrical divider. I'm an engineer. I wouldn't cause danger in my own house. I'm an engineer. I have a degree in engineering. I have a master's degree in industrial design. I work with electricity. Electricity is every day. That's my thing. That's my food. Electricity. Then comes this lady from the council to tell me that the extension cable is illegal. It shouldn't be connected. So they came the following day and removed the position where I had put my extension cable and put it on the wall and connected exactly the same thing. You would ask yourself, okay, changing position, that makes it less dangerous. Changing position. All other plugs are down there, and they put it on the wall just to cover up, because they know that it was just a mere persecution. They had to cover up and put it somewhere else and try to create reason. They do that to people who are unknown, who don't have knowledge, and say, oh no, electricity is better when it's there than when it is there. You see, so it was all a problem. You could tell where all this is coming from. It all comes from, when are you leaving Swansea? Everything which had to do with the Council of Swansea was indicative of a campaign to put my family under pressure to leave Swansea. I believe this institutional illegality must be exposed, and all protagonists brought to book, and I must be compensated in such a big manner, which will force the council to uphold the law at all times and treat all human beings equally at all times. If I fail to be loud enough on this one, more voiceless people will suffer mental health issues. Can you tell me, how much does it cost to look after a mental health patient? How much does it cost this country to look after a mental health patient? If somebody is in the business of inducing mental health to healthy people, then somebody is in the business of inducing mental health on people who are well settled, very healthy people, and cause them to have mental health issues. How much punishment does that person deserve? How much punishment? Because all these things which are done by Swansea Council are designed to destroy me mentally, so that I end up at a mental institution being looked after by somebody else, and that somebody else being paid hundreds of thousands per year to look after me. And yet I was a healthy person, very healthy, no problem. If I had been left alone with my children without any institutional corrupt intervention, I would be happy with my children as we were in the past 9 years, no problem at all. Up until the council deployed divorce manufacturers. That's why I must sue them so hard in such a deterrent manner that all other future children will remain with their mummies and daddies, loving mummies and daddies, without the city of council sending these agencies to come and destroy happy families. Because in the manner they destroyed my family, it's irretrievable. The things they asked her to say against me were so they were meant to keep me in prison for 12 to 15 years. They even went on to ask sexual positions, things like that. They know she's gullible. Fortunately, I survived this because the police took my phone and looked at the messages that she was sending me. And the messages she was sending me were not really related at all to some people who are angry. And they found me with a card, which was also a setup, with her bank card, which was also a setup. She had been told over many months how to do it. And I had a bank card. I kept a bank card, and part of the charges were that I control her finances. And the police found on my WhatsApp messages that she was sending me to go and pay for the front wheel of the car, go and bring baby wipes, go and buy milk and this, and bring peanut butter from the shop using the same card. See, so how would that card then become something that I'm being aggressive in control of? So it didn't make sense at all. A lot of things that she put, actually, I would forgive her for her gullibility, but not to the extent that we can come back, because she's a dangerous person, very dangerous. She has shown, she's been very good all these years. No problem at all. We've never had problems up until the city council came. And when the city council came, the way they did it to lock me up, knowing that I've got a serious, very, 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 very serious chest problems and claustrophobic problem. They know it very well, you see. And they locked me in a very small thing. Actually, they wanted me to commit suicide in a police cell. That's exactly what they wanted me to do, commit suicide because I'm claustrophobic. I shouldn't be locked in a small thing at all. I shouldn't be. I'm claustrophobic. See, so that's how they'd planned everything. They asked her my problems, and she told them everything. So they knew how best to get me to either kill myself or be locked in prison for a very long time, so that they would take her and the children and put them somewhere else as they're doing now. And after some years, they would accuse her of something else and take her away from the children and lock her up in jail and control my children. That's exactly how it works. Contrived problems. In 2019, we received a letter from one of the agencies who work with the City Council of Swansea to attend a course to teach us how to look after autistic children. Little did I know that the whole thing was a design to alienate me from my partner in children, and later remove my children from me and take them to care homes, obviously, where the council, contractors and business people who are attached to the city council would make business out of my children. These are the children who would be mistreated by educational and care agencies without any securities from their loving parents, as I had seen happening to that Chinese boy who was being collected by city council agencies. They didn't complain when he was being mistreated in front of us parents. He was being mistreated because her mother was not there. Her father, I don't know the history of the mother and the father, but I cried inside. So this child, where is the representation? Where is the mommy? Mommy, where is mommy? Where is daddy? You can't be mistreated like this. He was not there. It was Swansea Council officials coming to collect her, and she was being mistreated in front of me, in front of my eyes. by this all new teacher, and these Swansea Council officials didn't ask anything. There was no reason to ask. Why ask? It's not their child. They don't care. That's the position where they want to get my children to. See, which is this alienation is a manufactured thing for a reason of business and earning money, getting money from the Department of Work and Pensions, and people make business out of these children, especially if they are foreign and you can't fight. I don't even know where the parents of that child was, and those parents don't even know what happened to their child. It's me who saw with these eyes from these people who are called, hey, carers, nice, carers, and yet they abuse these children. My child came with a swollen head every day. We come from school, yeah, he has fallen from school, and he hit his frontal cortex, because this lady was studying mental health. So she was using these terms, always carrying a file, it was laughable, to be honest, laughable. Little knowledge, trying to present little knowledge as big knowledge. I've been alienated from my children, and I live in this 25 square meter cubicle after I'd been living as a daddy, loving daddy to very happy children, autistic children, where I used to collect them from school every day and drive them to the mountain sides of Swansea every day to see the view before I go and collect my daughter later with my partner in the car, enjoying side viewing and things, making the children happy, working hard as much as possible to get the children happy while working on my very important invention in the garden. Trying to advance the economy of this country through engineering, which this country invested a lot of resources to train me as an engineer, train me as someone useful. And people with very little knowledge, very corrupt people, came into my family and destroyed everything. Now we're alienated. My children are not enjoying that collection and things like that. They are being now treated by institutions. The institutions, those are the people collecting them from schools and things like that. Institutions. Their mother can't say a word. If she says anything, they are waiting for her now. I want you to know, they are waiting for her. They will remove her from the children one day and take those children into institutions, and business is going to be done because of what? Her gullibility. She being gullible, believing that anything that is being said by a white person with that colonial mentality is correct. And they started her very well. They started her gullibility. She said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Everything. Yes, ma'am. As long as it's being said by white. She can't say no. She used to be charged every week for a washing machine in the house. Before I met her, for a washing machine in the house, charged every week. Well, she couldn't buy her own. She was being charged by council. They were making pieces out of it. Washing machine, stove, couldn't buy her own. Even if she had money, she couldn't. She had to use the council one and pay for it. Making business. And they would make her pay for electricity, which she has already paid for. She had a bill of £800 from electricity on a meter where she was paying prepaid, spending all time buying your electricity on a prepaid meter. Then when you leave the house, they say, no, prepaid, that's your story. You actually owe us £800 of electricity. Where from? Because it was a prepaid. She would run away. She can't say no. It's being said by a white person. They have learned to eat from her, make business from her. They send a letter to this, you owe this, and she runs to pay. So that's the gullibility which they decided to put her under and milk her. They will give her more money, and they will come back at the back door and take all the money. My children are not going to get anything. They won't get anything. They have a very dangerously gullible mother who can't say no. Can't say no to white. Whites are correct. We're Africans, isn't it? We come from a colonial background where we were taught in Africa that anything that is said by white is correct. They charge you more for water. They charge you more for electricity. You don't say anything. They say you don't know, because anything that is said by white is correct. I have to pay here where I've been put by Swansea Council for a 25 square meter, which is almost like your bathroom and the toilet together. That's the size. 25 square meters, I have to pay £400 per month. That's supposed to be a 6-bedroom house. £400 council. That's what you would pay the council, £400 a month if you had a 6-bedroom house, including 3 toilets like this cubicle here. So I have to pay that 400 because this landlord, they call him private landlord. But how do you end up being put by council in a private landlord? See, it's the corruption. That's the corruption. That's the business they want to make out of people like me. On paper, they present it as we are helping him. He was homeless. They don't start from history from far away. On record, they say, yeah, he was homeless. We helped him. It starts from the day you were homeless. It doesn't start from the history. Not at all. That's exactly what happens. I pay £250 of electricity in this cubicle, 25 square meter cubicle, £250 electricity. I've got receipts here. Can't be right. No one can run away from it. I've got receipts here. Pay for electricity every month, which is supposed to be electricity for a 6-bedroom house. That's how the city council milks people they put in situations like me. That's how they milk them. If you do not answer the question of when are you leaving Swansea, you end up exactly like me. Business. They're making multi-million. You're actually paying a mortgage for someone else in a 25 square meter rusted room. Paying mortgage for it. Train you. I'm 50 years old now. I can't even buy food in this house. Spend all the money on electricity and rent. Total of 750 electricity and rent in this 25 cubic, which is equal to your toilet and bathroom together. I have to pay £7,000 hire purchase car, which I pay £145 per month. You can see it's now going to 1,000 per month, which I must pay. Earning nothing, earning peanuts. I'm employed as a cleaner. Under that homelessness, I had to take any job under homelessness. And I can't move anyway at all. You can't move anyway, otherwise you'll be homeless again. Not by accident, but by the creations of the Swansea Council and their knowledge of how they've destroyed other people in the past. That's their job, destroy people. That's their job. I have to pay this 7,000 hire purchase car. Let me tell you, this car, we bought it for our autistic children. My partner specifically told me that she was earning enough money that from the autistic children that we could actually pay £145 per month for a hire purchase car. Because she doesn't have a driver's license, it was put under my name. I was earning at that time 0 pence per year, 0 cents per year. I was not earning, 1 penny. Some people in poor countries earn £1 per year. I was not earning that. 0 pence per year. I haven't earned anything since 2015, 16, 17, 18, 3 years. Never earned 1 cent. You see, except in 2016 when they decided to give me money for childcare, which was £60 per week. So I wasn't even qualifying to pay £145 per month for a hire purchase car, and up until it was guaranteed by my partner, who said we must buy this car because our children need a good car. And we went together